Alright, so I cleaned the sneaker off, and now I play the waiting game. I'm going to let it dry, and then retape it. Now while I'm waiting for the sneaker to dry, I figured I could take this opportunity to show you some pickups. One recent, one not so recent. So for the first one, as you all can tell by the retro box here, I picked this up this last Saturday, and as you all already know, it is the Fire Red 5. Now, I almost slept on this sneaker because I thought that the Fire Red 5 releasing last Saturday was going to be the one with the black tongue and the all red midsole here. Now, I woke up the morning of the release and I said, you know what, I'll head down to Nike, and if they got my size, whatever, I'll get a pair. Very happy they had my size because I am very impressed with the quality of this sneaker. You got the 3M tongue, the blue icy bottoms, red embroidered Jumpman, and mesh on the side here. It's just, I was honestly very, very surprised at how good a quality these shoes were. So yeah, that's my most recent pickup. Put it back in the box here and get on to the next one. Now this next one isn't really a recent pickup. I'm just showing it to show people back home in America just how laid back sneaker collecting can be here in Australia. So for the morning of this release, I had plans to wake up early, get to Nike early, and secure myself and my wife a pair of these sneakers. But the morning of the release didn't really pan out the way that I thought it was going to. I slept through all of my alarms and woke up extremely late, showing up to be the last in line at Nike, thinking to myself, there's no way that I'm going to be able to get my size in this sneaker. I make it to the counter, and I am able to purchase 3 pairs of these shoes. I was able to purchase myself 2 and my wife 1. Now later, I ended up selling my second pair because I don't really need 2 pairs of the same sneaker. It's just how I am. And yeah, so the sneaker that I'm talking about, as you just saw, is the Black Cement 4s. Now, or also known as the Bread 4s. Now this sneaker was the one sneaker that I was looking forward to the most in 2012. And I'm not kidding you when I say that this sneaker stayed on shelves for weeks after its release. I would go into Nike, sure enough it would always be there, up until about maybe the first week of January. And I heard stories from people back home in America who had a very hard time getting their hands on these while they just remained on shelves over here in Australia. So yeah, one of my favorite sneakers, the Black Cement 4. Alright, so the sneaker's dry, and I'm not going to film the process of me taping up the sneaker because that's just a waste of time. So, as you see, what I do is I tape up the whole sneaker, and what I'm going to do now is lay down a couple of base coats of white. I got my shading brush, a little tub of water, and my Angelus white acrylic leather paint. So, the key to this is patience. You have to have a lot of patience in order to do this. You don't want to lather on and just keep on, throwing on layers and coats of paint when it doesn't need it. So I'll show you the first quick coat that I'm going to do. There we go. See, you don't want a lot. You really don't want a lot of paint on there. Like I said, patience. You don't want to throw, completely be drown the shoe in paint. And don't rush it. You just can't. You can't rush this process, or else you are not going to be happy with how your shoes turn out. Now, as you can see, that first coat is very, very thin. And that's what you need. You need multiple thin coats. You don't want to lather the paint on there, else you're going to completely ruin your sneaker. Well, I shouldn't say you're going to ruin your sneaker, but it's definitely not going to work out as well as you had hoped. So I'm just finishing up fourth coat of white primer here. And what I like to do is give the paint about 30 minutes in between coats just to dry and give the next layer of coat something to actually stick to. And yeah, like, you know, you can see it's coming on pretty nicely, nice and smooth. And don't be lazy about this. Get, you know, almost every smartphone has a timer on it. All you gotta do is set it to 30 minutes. I fucking hate that song, by the way. There you go. Set it down and go do something else. That noise means it is time to put on the final coat of white. So, got a shoe, got a brush. Smooth, even coats. And I'm just finishing up the last layer of paint, the last coat of paint, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. And let's see here. Make sure that it is smooth, because that is the last layer of white that you are going to do. So let's have a look at it. Nice and even, and really take advantage of the tape. I mean, it will save your ass if you stray off, as you can see I did in there, or there. It really, you know, take full advantage of the tape, because it will give you these straight lines that you will just not be able to do with, you know, just freehanding. Alright, so I just got finished putting on the last coat of white, and I took off the tape, and now this is the part of the video where I cannot stress to you enough to use the tape to your full advantage. You will not be able to get lines that even across the leather without using the tape. So now the next step is to let this final layer of white set and cure for about 24 hours. So, there you go. And we're started. I'll see you tomorrow.